Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition of ECH Scouting Spotlight. I'm Dylan, I'm here with RJ, and this week we're going to talk about Florida Panthers defenseman Radko Gudas. So, RJ, we've both been watching a little bit of him play in this last week or so. What are some of the things you've seen from him?
Radko Gudas, for those who don't know, he's Czech defenseman for the Florida Panthers, 30 years old. He's in his ninth season in the league, and really, he's a throwback. What stands out first looking at his stats is the hit numbers. He's second in the NHL in hits right now, and when you watch him play, you can see that immediately. So what I love about Gudas is that he's very much himself on the ice. You know exactly what you're getting with him every single shift. And when I was watching his games this week, I was looking for video clips to use in the written scouting spotlight. And you can go check that out on the website. And first shift, he comes in, he lines up a forward coming into the offensive zone, big hit. All right, I can use that. I can use that clip. Next shift, he's battling in the corner and he shoves Janmark head first into the dasher. All right, well, I could use that. And really, it just continued. Every shift, there was some example of him using his physicality to separate a man from the puck. So I watched two games against the Blackhawks, and in both of those games, the Panthers trailed early, and they were kind of trying to claw their way back into the game, but they could never tie it. And I guess the biggest thing I noticed as far as his usage was how little ice time he had, especially in the third period. He's averaging a little under 18 minutes a game this season, and in those two games, he had 17 and then 14 minutes of ice time, which kind of gives you an indication of how he's used. And to see if the reverse was true, I went and looked at his two highest ice time games of the season, and he played just under 22 minutes in both of those games. And in both cases, the Panthers got the lead early, under 8 minutes into the game, and they never trailed. So if you're trying to score and play some more high event hockey to kind of get you back into a game, you probably want to use someone else on defense. But if you're trying to defend your lead and kind of lock it down, Gudas is a good guy to use for that. Now, these kinds of guys, more physical defensemen don't always tend to look too favorable with the advanced stats. But Gudas is seventh on the team in Corsi for percentage, seventh in Fenwick for percentage. He's starting in the D zone 58% of the time. And really, those numbers are exactly what you'd want from a third pairing defenseman. As far as the eye test, obviously you have that physical element. One area that I would like to see him improve on, though, is kind of tying up his man in front of the net and committing to it. He does have that tendency to get a little distracted by the puck when he's trying to gain position in front of the net. If you're a forward playing against him, the advice I would give you is maybe just, if he's locking you up, just curl away a little bit, wait till he looks at the puck, and then just sneak back to exactly where you were, and he'll probably have forgotten about you. And the Blackhawks took advantage of that. They had guys standing on the side of the net, almost behind it, just ready for those little tips into the net. And I think they got a couple goals that way, a few good chances. So that's kind of my read on Gudas. What do you see, Dylan?
Yeah, this week, normally we tend to be focusing on younger players that the Kraken might be able to take because their current team can't protect them. This week, that's definitely not the case. We know who Gudas is. We've seen him for years now, and yeah, that is who he is. He's a physical guy. He's not the guy you want out there when you're trying to claw yourself back into a game. But I do think that watching him with the Panthers this year and maybe a little bit last year compared to his previous stints places like in Philadelphia, I do think he's changing his game a little bit. He's not super skilled with the puck or anything like that. He's not fast, so he can't play a speed game. He's not going to be super offensive for you. He's not going to be scoring goals or setting guys up with perfect passes or anything. But he's changed a little bit in terms of the fact that, yeah, as you mentioned, he has really, really good possession numbers this year. And when you watch him play, basically he's out there and he's just getting the puck out of his zone and into the other zone. And he's doing it consistently, and he's making it look, at least for him, a little bit easy, which he doesn't make a lot of other aspects of his game look easy, except for maybe driving people into the boards. So I can't quite put my finger on exactly what it is that he's doing differently now compared to obviously I watched a lot of him when he was the Flyers because I was a I guess I'm still a Penguins fan. We have to have this discussion at some point about where
Yeah, definitely.
allegiances lie now that the Kraken exist. But back in the day, Gudas was very much more of a bruising guy, where he was gonna like try to crush you as you entered the zone, and he was gonna not let up against you at any point. He was gonna follow you all through the zone. Whereas now, like you said, he's not great at tying up people in front of the net, but he's staying closer to home more than he ever has before. And I don't know if that's because he's slowing down. Like I said, he was never exactly the fastest guy to begin with, but I do think that he's playing a little bit more with solid fundamentals. He's playing a more fundamental defensive game, and I think that's probably what explains his possession numbers this year. Because yeah, he's like right up there with some of the best guys in the league as far as starting in his own zone, and by the time he's off the ice, the puck is not in his own zone anymore.
Right. He's kind of his game's matured. I mean, certainly since those days in Philadelphia, and you can tell there's still that part of him that wants to kind of go at anything that moves and and try
Mm-hmm.
and hit stuff. But that's a credit to the coaches that he's had, and I think that kind of game would be kind of perfect for a Kraken third pairing defenseman.
Yeah, and he is a veteran. He's been around for a lot of years. He's played on a lot of different teams of varying success levels, and I think that's all stuff that the Kraken can use, right? They're going to
Oh,
need
yeah.
veteran presences like him, guys who have been around, guys who, they know the little, you know, games within a game that if you win those, it can impact the larger game, right? And I think that's partly, as you said, his game maturing now is a lot of that stuff with him, and I think he'd be very very beneficial, much like he's been in Florida, right? Florida is still kind of a young
Right.
team. They're starting to get older now, or entering their prime, but they are a younger team, and he's been doing really well there. They seem to like him and stuff, so I think I think he'd be very beneficial for the Kraken. All right, so not too much to talk about this week with Radko Gudas, because the bottom line is he's Radko Gudas, right? We've seen him for a while now. We Everyone loves the way he plays, right? I mean, he's fun to watch. He's gonna be exciting to have on whatever team he's on. We both think he'd do well on the Kraken, but we'll see come July what Seattle decides to do. So thanks for watching this ECH scouting spotlight. As RJ mentioned, you can go and check out the written version and watch some video clips on the website emeraldcityhockey.com. A link to that will be down below in the description. Please leave a comment about what you think about Radko Gudas. Would you be excited to have him in a Seattle uniform next season? And don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future Seattle Kraken news from us. Thanks.